Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level grammar lesson. We're continuing our discussion of conditionals, but this time we'll be adding the imperative and modal verbs in conditional sentences. So answer the conditional questions. What will happen if you eat fast food every day? What will happen if you don't sleep at least 6 hours each night? What will happen if you fail an exam? What will happen if you wake up late for school or work? And what will happen if it snows tomorrow? You can answer those questions in the comments. And remember in the last video, we talked about the difference between habits and particular situations. So with a habitual activity or situation, you use if plus the present simple and then the present simple in the result clause as well. So if I don't eat breakfast, it is hard to focus during class. For a particular activity or situation, we would use if plus the present simple plus will. If it is sunny tomorrow, I will ride my bike. And the differences between a habit and a particular situation. So a particular situation takes place at one point. A habitual activity are single activities that take place one at a time, but are repeatedly over a period of time. And a habitual situation is a continuous situation. All right, so now make a conditional sentence that is true for the present or the future, and then also think about whether it is habitual or particular. You can pause the video and then try these on your own. You can write your answers in the comments and then restart when you're ready to continue. All right, and these are just some suggested answers. You might have different sentences that would also be correct. But here, Pietro, if Pietro doesn't study, he gets a bad grade. If Pietro doesn't study, he will get a bad grade on the exam tomorrow. So one is habitual and one is particular. It is 6 p.m. Ariana has a flight at 8 p.m. She lives 20 miles from the airport, and at the moment she is packing her bag. If Ariana doesn't hurry up, she will miss her plane. And that's a particular situation. Same thing here. Try these on your own and then restart when you're ready to see a sample answer. If Martina doesn't eat breakfast in the morning, she gets tired by midday. If Martina eats breakfast, she will be late for work. If it is sunny again tomorrow, Tanya will go to the beach. Here are another pair you can work on. If Ella's boss asks her to work late tonight, she will say no. If she eats green beans, you will give her a piece of cake. All right, now take a look at these sentences and decide whether they're correct or incorrect. You can pause the video, try them on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, I need to do my homework tonight. If I don't do it, I will forget what I learned in class. That one is fine. Tomorrow I have so much work to do, but if I have time, I meet you for a coffee after work. We need the word will here. I will meet you. If Raphael doesn't come to the meeting this afternoon, I will not be very happy. That one is fine. And we always go to the movie theater on the weekend if we have enough time. It's fine. Okay, a superstition is a belief regarding the unknown, and we always use will with superstitions. So for example, if you walk under a ladder or break a mirror, you will have 7 years of bad luck. If someone says or thinks something bad about you, the Nazar will protect you. And if you whistle at night, ghosts and demons will come. So in this image, there are 10 different superstitions that will bring bad luck. Can you guess what they are? And are any of these the same or different in your own culture? What other superstitions do you know? And you can answer any of those questions in the comments. Okay, so the superstitions they're pictured. If you walk under a ladder, if you open umbrella indoors, break a mirror, walk on a crack, spilt ink. I don't know that one. That's one I'm not familiar with. You see black crows. If you hang a horseshoe upside down, a black cat crosses your path. If you do something on Friday the 13th, and if you place a hat on the bed. I have to look up the one about spilt ink, or if anybody knows the saying behind spilling ink, let me know in the comments. So read the superstition and discuss if you believe it. Explain why or why not one is done for you. If a black cat crosses your path, you will have bad luck. I don't believe this. If I see a black cat, I am not scared. Or if you knock on wood, you will stop something bad from happening. And if you find a four-leaf clover, you will have good luck. So go ahead and write some sentences explaining whether you believe these superstitions or not and why. In English, we can use the imperative tense to give instructions or to request something. Please clean your room. Turn off that music. I am on the phone. You can use the imperative tense in a result clause. The imperative is the base verb without to. If I don't answer the phone, please leave a message. Let me know if you want to talk about what happened. So read about the situation. What can you say? And use some conditionals with imperatives to give instructions to the babysitter. You have two young children, aged 8 months and 7 years old. The babysitter has arrived, and you are going out to a sports game. You will return home late. The babysitter says, "What do I do if the baby seems hungry? Or if the baby starts to cry, if you need to contact me." So go ahead and write some of those sentences with the imperatives in the results clause. And you can post those in the comments. All right, now you're going to match the beginning and the end to create a sentence. Pause the video, try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. If someone that you don't know sends you a message, please don't reply. Please buy some more milk if you go to the supermarket today. If you see Peter, ask him to call me. And please feed the dog if we don't get home before 8 p.m. So we make polite requests with can, could, or would. So make some conditional sentences with requests in the result clause. Again, you can pause the video, try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check the answers. Could you please buy some eggs if you pass the store on the way home from work? Would you bake a cake for Mom if I buy the ingredients today? If you are free this afternoon, can you help me with something? And if you see Alvaro today, could you please ask him to call me? All right, so now you can use these combinations to create some polite requests using can, could, or would in the result clause. So one example, if you see your brother this afternoon, would you remind him to feed the cat? Okay, go ahead and try those on your own and then restart when you're ready to hear the answers. If Clement if Clement wants to watch television tonight, could you tell him to finish his homework? If you pass a gas station, would you fill up the gas tank? If you pass the grocery store this afternoon, can you buy eggs and milk? All right, now read the sentences and what words are used instead of will in the result clause. Okay, if you want to pass the test, you should study. Here we used should instead of will. If you need help, you could ask the librarian. If you finish the exam early, you can go home. If it is sunny tomorrow, we may have class outside. And if it rains, they might cancel the field trip. All right, so we have the different kinds of modal verbs and their uses. So modals of ability would be can or be able to. If I hurry, I can finish my book today. Permission, the modal is can. If you clean your room, you can go out with your friends later. Modals of necessity, must and have to. If I have an exam during the week, I have to study over the weekend, or I must study over the weekend. Suggestions, the modal verbs are should and ought to. If you need help, you should talk to a friend. Modals of possibility are words like may, might, may, can, and could. If it snows tomorrow, we might go skiing. And prohibition, the modal is must not. If the baby is asleep, you must not make a noise. All right, now complete each conditional with the correct modal verb. Pause the video, try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. I have an idea. If it doesn't rain tomorrow, we could go to the beach. If you failed the exam, you cannot go to the concert this weekend. If Clara is feeling lonely, she should talk to a doctor. We must not answer the door if someone knocks. Mom said not to. Now, should is used to give advice. So complete each of these conditionals using should. Here's an example. If you want to be healthy, you should eat more vegetables. And you can go ahead and put your answers to these in the comments if you'd like some feedback. Can is used for ability and permission. If you finish your homework, you can play video games. And again, you can try making some conditional sentences using can. Might is used for possibility. If you have a fever and a runny nose, you might have the flu. And again, you can make your own conditional sentences using might and write those in the comments. Great, now we're going to practice to use a modal with the words below, and more than one modal may be correct. So some of these may have more than one possible answer, but go ahead and pause the video, try these on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. So I think we should take a holiday in Spain next year if we can save enough money. If you have time this afternoon, you should go and visit your grandma. The children were sick all day. If they are sick tomorrow, they will have to stay home from school. If we arrive early at the airport, we could get something to eat at the cafe. Now read the problem and respond with a conditional with a modal verb. I went to bed at midnight and woke up at 6 a.m. I am tired. So if you feel tired, you should go to bed earlier. So go ahead and try these. Make a sentence, a conditional sentence with a modal verb for this situation. Same things here. You're going to give advice, so respond to each of these problems with a modal in a conditional sentence. And now create a sentence using a conditional and a modal verb, and then continue with a new sentence related to the topic. If you forget your glasses, you might not be able to see at school. If you can't see at school, you might miss important information. If you miss important information, then what? And then see how long that you can keep it going. And if you would like to try that in the comments, that would be great. Other people can participate and keep adding to the chain. And here are some ideas to get you started. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave comments, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.